Hey Doomers, welcome back. It's November 18th. I'm the Wizard, and I'm glad you're here. Behind me you see the cabin where I reside on a near permanent basis unless the weather gets too extreme. One of my YouTube subscribers has so graciously lended me the opportunity to reside here and take care of it while we still can. So, I just want to update you on a few recent headlines in case you missed it. It's all over the place. Some of you don't pay attention to the news. You just watch my channel, and I'm honored. I could be your go-to realist journalist. So, before that, I would like to tell you to hit the like button. You've been so good about that lately. Thank you. Subscribers, I don't mean that nonchalantly. So, Biden just approved long-range missiles to Ukraine, which ups the ante in the war on Ukraine. How are we not in a world war right now? North Korea intends on sending an additional 100,000 troops. Probably all said and told. Many more from other countries. Meanwhile, gas is being cut off to, was it Austria? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know all the inner workings. Who does? Nobody knows. But at COP, they're figuring it out, right? What a name. Conference of Parties. I told you I wouldn't talk about it, but I'm still watching the videos. I appreciate Paul's journalistic approach to witnessing human behavior and trying to solve a predicament. Meanwhile, the spread of disinformation is rampant. I just watched this Chris Hayes video. I know, he's a derp, talking about how in sports misinformation spreads about this quarterback. I could care less about sports ball. You know that by now. Pardon me, there are some kids on some four-wheelers because it's hunting season. You can never truly get away from people unless you're a boomer who had the ability to work in the best economy on the planet, acquire wealth and assets, and purchase land. Maybe dozens of acres that you can do absolutely nothing with. We need an environmental corps of engineers. We need to send out flyers to every single citizen to inquire that they pursue regenerative agriculture, sustainable living, etc. But that ain't happening. Because the profits for corporations are more important. They have the government by the balls, and they dictate everything we do. You have no freedom of choice. That's an illusion. You can't control or change anything. I'll back off with the seriousness, okay? It's a good day, a new week. I'm just learning about the Sudanese World Health workers and aid in these countries sexually exploiting women whom they are supposed to help. Each of these little incidences just lowers my trust in humanity as if there was any much left. That being said, I have some close friends on this platform, not to mention this cabin and around the world who I confer with and trust dearly. This is where I ended up. I had the choice several months ago to pursue the eco-conscious community and being solo off-grid in a cabin. I can argue both ways, but it's come to my attention from Andrea that even amongst the most eco-conscious of peoples, they still can't connect the dots and understand overshoot, ecological collapse, and all things associated. Is just a reminder that I think I made the right choice. In fact, I know I did. When I moved up here, I fit right into an occupation that's enabled me to support this lifestyle. Without that, I would be struggling because YouTube doesn't pay anything for ads. I do get contributions from you guys, which goes a long way. And I appreciate you for helping me get to the 100. I need a new microphone, tripod, and a few other quality of life upgrades. Behind me, I hear Una. Of course, I'm not here. Una. Of course, I'm not here completely alone. My mental health would be much more visibly deteriorated if I didn't have my precious Manx cat, which has been the best cat I have ever participated in caring for. She is extremely affectionate, loyal, playful, cuddly, no psycho cat behavior, no bad shedding, just really lucked out with her. Without that, I would be much more neurotic and miserable. Okay, so I turned 36 in January. We live in an oligarchy, a dystopia. Bernie Sanders reiterates this in his speeches often. Everyone can write him off as an old crackerjack. Switching gears, less important. We all know the fight was staged between Jake and Mike, something I should have foreseen beforehand. Everything basically has been a disappointment this decade, and either remakes or redos, but we can be certain that 1988 Mike would have obliterated Jake, and I'll stop there. It's all showmanship. Alright, so Una's begging my attention and I have to get in the basement, but I just wanted to tell you that I'm reflecting on the crisis as it's unfolding in real time, as you are, and still having to participate in mainstream society. You know, I have 1 foot in, 1 foot out kind of thing, but it's manageable. It's not like I work for some green company that touts how energy efficient they are, but uses diesel trucks, you know, and to transport goods, and everything just has so much contradiction, and it's hard for me to look past that. As a neuroatypical person, I don't do well with slander, contradictions, shift changes. What someone says and what someone does should line up. If there's a mismatch, that's a character problem, and I can't look past it. As I've grown older, I've leaned much more into the principles of stoicism, where virtue is the only good. That at the end of the day, you could say, well, I did my best, I gave it my all, I tried to be on my best behavior given the circumstances, or what I thought was at the time. Don't beat yourself up, you know? You're flawed, just like the rest of us. I know I give off the vibe that I have too high of standards and I put that on other people, but the bar is pretty low now. And that's one last thing I want to cover on, is what I'm experiencing with younger men in their 20s, is they are let down by society and culture. There's no inspirational models to look. There's nothing to gear them towards success. They don't have any motivation, and there's no reason to be motivated. No one asks how they're doing. We're corrupted to the max. We're so narcissistic. Everyone overcompensates. They overtell and share their experience so they can compensate for feeling so insignificant and little. It's overcompensation. That's what it is. When someone starts lecturing to you, why are they lecturing to you? Think about it. Look behind the words. And you didn't ask. Okay? So I know that seems like a contradiction because I'm here telling you about the world, but I'm just reporting this. Don't shoot the messenger, as a lot of these channels say. Okay, Una's crying for me and she wants to go do some housework, so I appreciate you doomers and all the new subs. I think every one of you should turn on the camera and share your experience of arriving to collapse awareness. Just to reiterate, I became aware of the climate catastrophe, whatever you want to call it, but I was in denial and pushed it under the rug for a few more years until 2020, the pandemic lockdown. It really soaked in. I guess I had more time to investigate, and then the rest is kind of history. Me prepping, going through stages of like man, I got to get away from everything, be a prepper, to like find a community, and just threw everything out there and see what's stuck. So I got the noisy four-wheelers coming back. Again, didn't want to keep you too long. Welcome to a new week, Doomers. I'll talk to you soon.